Derek Hough, congratulations. You just got your record-breaking 13th Emmy nomination for choreography. How did you find out about the nomination and the record? Because you've passed Debbie Allen now.
Yeah, wow. I found out in bed. I just got a phone call. And it's incredible. I think, for me, the first thing you feel a little bit is that sort of that feeling of sort of undeserving. You start thinking like, wait, what? No way. There's no way I did that, and but then I started thinking about my whole journey. I started thinking about my whole um, journey of dance and choreographing, and all of a sudden, my life is flashing before my eyes of all the dance experiences and me being dragged to dance and not wanting to go to dance. Um, but I had to because I had four sisters and I was kind of made to. But then falling in love with it and the music and the way it made me feel, and dancing, traveling around the world, competing and training relentlessly, day in day out. The hours on the train, in the car, driving to lessons, to competitions, to practice, um, just thousands of hours put into dancing, and then choreographing. Was never really something that I thought about being or doing. It was more, being in a class or in, learning a choreography and thinking like, oh, what if we did this? And me suggesting things and me being like, well, what if we tried this? And realizing that I had instincts and I had ideas, um, but then also realizing, and then just learning and figuring it out as you go. Because that's the thing about choreographing. I don't know if there is now, but certainly when I was choreographing, there was no classes of like, this is how you choreograph. You do this, you do that. This is this. There was no real education of it except for just experience. So there's a lot of trial and error of just figuring things out as you're going along and realizing like, oh, that didn't work out good, or this looks good, and I like this. But a lot of it is just listening to your instincts and listening to your what feels right and feels good, and start trusting that process. But yeah, so my when I found that out, I went through all of that. I was like, wow, who would have thought? I can't believe that this is happening. Um, and I'm just so thankful. I'm just so thankful. I'm so grateful for the opportunity to be able to continue to create. I think that's the thing. There's so many great choreographers. There's so many great creatives out there who are just incredible. And I'm just very fortunate that I'm very fortunate that I've had this platform to create pieces for so many years. I'm very very lucky.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is for your higher routine on Dancing with the Stars. As soon as I saw it in October, I was like, you're getting another Emmy nomination. It was mind-boggling. And that was on Michael Bublé Night. It's his song. You directed his music video. And I know you masterminded the whole night too, with him as a guest judge, and he also performed. So how did this all come together? Were you like, I'm only going to perform on his night?
No, it was just for one, I was always just like, wait, why have we not had a Michael? Because in the ballroom and Latin world, in their dance world, his music is again the gift that keeps on giving. We love that, like that throwback, that big band sound, that music, the great foxtrots, quick steps, cha-chas. Um, so the fact that we've never had him on the show, I was like, why? Like he's literally like he's so important to the ballroom and dance community. His music is so important to us that it makes sense that he's there. And also, he's just a great guy. He's hilarious. He's funny. But um, but when I heard Higher, I was like, this song has it's like a mini musical. It really has so many different elements. It has that cha-cha, it has the tango feel, it has that drama, it has it has that like kind of all these different elements that just call for a big performance, that call for, you know, a production essentially. Um, and so yeah, so for me, I was like, you know, I'd love to do that piece, that song. And one of the things I asked Michael was, like, I said, hey Michael, since we're on Dancing with the Stars, how do you feel about this being a dance piece, a performance, and not an artist piece with the dancing in the background? You know what I mean? And he was like, oh man, of course, please, like, do you, man? Like, he goes, you know, and he's always been such a huge encourager for me. You know, he's always encouraged me as, like, you know, and he was like, do your thing, man. Like, I want to see you do your thing, whatever you want. I'll whatever I can do to serve you, let me know. And I was like, wow, like, there's not very many artists that do that, by the way. You know what I mean? I think that it's he was very much there to serve the piece, which was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, we've definitely seen singers perform on the show, and it's like usually them in the foreground for almost the entire performance, and some dancing in the background or on the floor. Yeah,
Yeah,
but you guys basically have
exactly.
like equal screen time, like the dancers and him in this.
Yeah, well, then that I wanted him to be more integrated. You know what
Mhm.
I mean? It was more of a, he was more integrated into the piece versus, you know, especially the first couple parts, and then and but yeah, but he was fully on board with that, and he was great. I just love
Yeah,
it. And his that song is incredible, and the album ended up
yeah, it
winning a
is like you were
Grammy, and
saying, it's so
amazing.
versatile. Like you could do so many different styles to it, like paso and samba and salsa. So
Yeah, yeah. There's like this drama moment, you know, where we had the trio going on, and then it cut over here. There's a duet, and there's a clump of people. Then there's the partner work, and there was so many different elements that yeah, and even at the beginning, like a little bit of humor. You know, I wanted there's that sort of like kind of walking into the club. You know, this kind of scene, kind of making it feel like making it feel like a piece. You know, like a actual like a full from like a beginning, middle, and end kind of piece. And I want, you know, he got there the day of. I had him record the voiceover, and threw in a little joke. You know, I just hadn't met her yet. You know, and just wanted to kind of really make it feel like a moment.
yeah, and I think it was kind of um fortunate in a way that last season was exclusively on Disney Plus, because there were no time constraints, because usually these pieces it's like 90 seconds long or something, but this
Right.
one was like 3.5 minutes. So what was it like having that freedom to do the full song and to basically get all of your ideas in there, because you could go as long as you want almost.
Yeah, you know, no, absolutely, and I very very much have um, Dance with Stars to thank, and the producers, and by the way, for all my pieces in the past, you know, they've been so. Um, Whenever I come with an idea, and I try to come with a very clear idea, clear vision, so they go okay, and I have to sell it, you know, um, but they have a lot of belief in me, and a lot of belief in the fact that we'll be able to keep the audience engaged and entertained, you know, for that full 3.5 minutes. And what was actually really cool about this piece as well was that this was the first time I think I danced with the other professionals. Um, I want to say in like 7 years or something like that. It was a long time, you know. So it was really cool to be in the rehearsal studio with, you know, with all the dancers, and to be like, wow. I was like, guys, I haven't danced with you guys in years. This is crazy. But it was cool because um, I haven't really choreographed a lot recently with ballroom dancers. I should say, because so it was fun. It was fun to be able to be like, oh, do this move, and it was like, oh yeah, of course they know exactly what I'm talking about. So it was really special. There's so many things about this piece that was special for me, as far as Michael, who I love and adore, dancing with my beautiful fiance, who is incredible, and then sharing the stage with all these amazing dancers who I've known for years and years and years. It was like a big reunion, you know, it really felt like a big reunion. It was really
Mhm.
special.
Yeah. Haley had two show-stopping moments in the routine in the beginning when she does the upside down, like riding a bike move. That's my technical term for it. That was, you
Yeah.
could hear, like the cheers in the audience, and then at the end when you throw her and she does like a throw triple axel, like figure skating style at the end. So what was it like incorporating those moves in there?
You know, it's so funny. I always say whenever I'm stuck, whenever I'm like I don't know what to do, I'm like, well, what does the music say? You know, I'm like, what does the music say? And I'm like, well, every step you take, and I tried a few different things where, you know, she was like floating in the air and her legs were kind of doing bicycling this way, and then I was like, it's okay, it's all right, you know. And then I'm like, you gotta do something a bit more interesting. I was like, so we did this. I was like, well, what if and we always do this like flip move? I was like, well, what if we did the flip move, but we suspended, and as you were suspending it, I'm going slower. You're like stepping as you're going around every step you take. So we tried it, and I was like, that's it, that's so cool. And you know, and it's funny because she did it so well. Her legs are so beautiful, and the way they point and the way they are placed so beautifully. Um, it was better than I could have imagined, you know. And at the end, the last move, again, I just like we need to finish strong with something like, you know, wow. And again, trying different things and seeing what sticks and seeing what like gives you that feeling. You're always waiting for that little feeling inside, that little butterfly, that little like that's it,
Mhm.
you know. And so I was really happy that we found those moments, and then they went well. They went well on the night. Very happy
Yeah,
about that.
definitely. It's her steadiness, as because like I was like, if that were me, like my legs would be flailing everywhere. Like,
He was like,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, it's become like since you became a judge, like it's become a tradition for you to perform every year. And I feel like fans look forward to it every year because I like in the fall before it was announced that you were doing this, it was like everyone's like, oh, is Derek performing? Is Derek performing? And I was like, yes, on Michael Bublé night. So do you have that in mind now? Like going into every season, it's like I'm gonna perform again. And do you feel pressure to top yourself from the previous year?
You know, I would absolutely be lying if I said I didn't feel the pressure, but I do a little bit now. I think because you know, being on Dance with the Stars before, you know, when you're working with a celebrity or you're doing performances, like you're doing, you know, 12 performances, right? So you can, so I definitely feel like I need to come with something special and something that feels strong, you know. For this particular season, I don't know. I don't know if honestly if I'll have time to, because I'm gonna be
You're on
on
tour.
tour at the same time. So I'll be flying back and forth. Um, the one thing I think in my mind that I can think of right now that I would want to do, that feels appropriate and feels right is, um, I would love to do something to honor Len.
Mhm.
You know, just something classic and reverent and appropriate. But yeah, anyways, but yes, I do feel, and again, I feel fortunate. I feel really fortunate again because, like I said, there's so many great choreographers out there. There's so many great creatives out there who are just remarkable, and I love collaborating. That's the thing too. Like I'm in a place now where I'm like I love working with other people because I love to learn things, and I like love like, oh, I would have never thought of that. I love that.
Mhm.
So I never take it for granted the opportunity to have this platform to create these pieces because at the end of the day too, the choreography is, you know, there's so many elements, you know, to this, you know, the space, the lighting, you know. I'm very fortunate, very fortunate.
Mhm. I feel like you can do something for the season premiere to honor Len before the tour starts, maybe, so it doesn't get too hectic.
Perhaps, perhaps, but we'll see. We'll see. Obviously, it's up to
Yeah.
the show and up to the whatever they feel is right. But I know for me that's the thing that when I think about something that it motivates me or inspires me. You know, last year was Michael Bublé because I was working with him and that song really inspired me. So, but this for this season, at least for me, the thing that inspires me is Len.
Yeah. I mean, you guys go way back, like predating the show. Like you've known him since you were a kid, in England. So what has he meant to you?
You know, he was just the most charismatic, witty, funny, and genuine guys. You know, ever since I was a kid, he just always had that persona, that energy about him. And then working with him, you know, on the show, even when I was competing on the show, he's just the guy that you always saw approval from. You know, you're always like,
Everyone does. Everyone's like, they want a 10 from Len.
everybody, you know. And by the way, people who aren't even on the show, if you just met Len, it was like, I just feel like I needed like hello Len, like, you know, he demanded this such respect. And I think what the respect was that he said what he said what he saw, and he would, even if it meant, you know, and being yourself, you know. I think it's such a it's such an overused term, but it's such a, to be yourself in this day and age is it can be very hard, because I think that people are afraid to say things. They're afraid to be themselves in fear of the consequences or whatever it might be. But the reason why he respected him so much is because he wasn't afraid to say what he felt, you know, and to be himself. And there was a lot of respect behind that. I think people respect that. And even if they didn't like it, you know, I think they would boo him, or people were mad or whatever it was, he respected him. And he was so lovely, man. And I just feel so honored and so privileged to just spend so much time with him, and to have that extra special time judging alongside him. Um, you know, yeah, I really share it. Like the last season was really special. I don't know why, because I didn't know he was unwell. Um, well, in that way. And but we spent a lot of time together. You know, we spent a lot of moments together, and I'm really thankful for that.
For sure. Is it true you're going to succeed him as head judge this season?
I don't know if there's like, I don't know if there's a title of head judge or anything like that. I
I don't
think
think it's like you have an odd number of people now, so you don't need a tiebreaker either. So
exactly. So I don't think there's any sort of like head judge title or anything like that. But uh yeah, yeah. But I at least, but for sure, I want to honor him, and bringing the history of dance and making sure that it comes with us in the future, and that we don't lose sight of, you know, the history of what dance and where it came from. So
he's the only head judge. No one can take that from him. So
yeah, I mean, honestly, there's nobody will ever replace it, not even close. You know, I think that yeah, I remember asking him, I was like, hey, I was like, can you like write down all your like little sayings that you say and your little terms and things, because they're so good. I need like the Book of Len. I need
it's the
that. You know,
Lenisms, yeah. So
Lenisms are so good. Um, so yeah, but he's gonna be sorely missed. But we hope to honor him the best we can.
Well, lastly, you have 3 Emmys, and this September is the 10th anniversary of your first one, and that was cool because that was also presented on the main ceremony, and all the choreography nominees performed on the show. And I remember we talked a couple days later, and you said like Dean Norris was dancing with your Emmy at the governor's ball. So what do you remember
Yes.
about that night, and like actually accepting on the main ceremony and performing?
Oh, that was so incredible. And by the way, why is it in the main ceremony anymore? Honestly, it's such a
It
great.
hasn't been back since. It's been 10 years.
I know, it's outrageous. It's outrageous. Um, no, that was an incredible night. I'll never forget. I remember seeing Aaron Paul, because that was during the Breaking Bad. You know, it was just
Yeah,
the
they
peak
won
of
that
that.
night. Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember just being with him all night, basically. And I said, like, what do I do with? Should I go take it home? And he goes, dude, you wear that around your neck tonight. You carry that around with you everywhere you go. This is it. Like, you flash that around as much as like. And I was like, okay. Like, I was so just excited, and we just had the most incredible night. It was so much fun. and so special, man. It was just incredible, just incredible. Wow. Again, whatever, all these memories and all these things, and I'm just filled with gratitude. I just can't believe it.
Awesome. Well, fingers crossed that you could hold it all night again this year, whenever the ceremony is. We should petition it to get
You
get
know,
on the main show.
I know. Really, it's it would be incredible. I think either way, I'm very, very, very proud of this piece. There's some pieces that, like, get nominated and you love, and you're like, oh, well, that's cool. There's some pieces you're like, you know what, I love this piece so much, and
Special.
I really love this piece. I watched it back after it got nominated, and I was like, oh, okay. I was like, okay, that happened. Like,
Be proud of
I was
yourself.
like,
Yeah, you deserve that
I
one.
was I was proud. I was proud of it. I was proud of it. I was like, oh, I forgot we did that. Oh my gosh, there's that moment over there too. There's so many things, and then I remembered, I was like, oh yeah, I tortured myself about that one. Making sure I got it right. So it was worth the torture.
Mhm. Well, Derek, it was great speaking with you. Good luck this year, and thanks again for your time.
Thank you so much, Joyce. Appreciate you.